Good afternoon. How are you doing today? My name is BJ. I'm with the Black Panther Party Commemoration Committee and also Incarcerated Nation. I'm here today just to inform you about a few events we have coming up for Black History Month. I'm happy to announce that the exhibition of the Black Panther portraits is at the new school in Manhattan at Dorothy Hershen Hall, 55 West 13th Street. It's from room 1 to 205, sponsored by the Lang Office of Civic Engagement and Social Justice, located at the Lang Sky Bridge. They'll be up for the month of February. Now, we had this show at the Queens Museum, and it had a good run. So if you missed it, here's a chance for you to see it. Now, there will also be a panel discussion on Thursday, February 15th at 4 p.m., featuring several Panthers from the book, hosted by Chantel Matthews at the new school. And yes, I will be there. Also, for Black History Month, Wednesday, February 28th at 10 to 8 p.m., Lehman College will be showing 2 films, Rankers and American Jail, and COINTELPRO 101, the history of how the Black Panther Party was destroyed by J. Edgar Hoover. Yes, and I will be there for this film. Also, on March 5th, we will be at Princeton University giving you the true history of the Black Panther Party. So come check out the exhibit at the new school and join me on the 15th. Come check out the film at Lehman College. It's at the Longer Theater in the music building at Lehman College. That's on February 28th. I'd just like to say, be there. And also, if you need some more information, my email is bj710, bjnyc710@gmail.com. bjnyc710@gmail.com. You are watching 30 Frames a Second with our host, Nat Woods. Enjoy your day.
History has shown that grassroots movements can make positive changes in their communities. Starting right here in the North Ward of New Jersey's capital city, we are striving to get everyone involved in our grassroots effort to create a healthier environment. At the Ike Williams Boxing Academy Fundamental Fitness Program, we believe that people should be able to live, work, and enjoy life in an environment that helps them practice healthy behaviors. Our MindBodyActivism approach to health and wellness in a city such as Trenton offers us a unique advantage in connecting with people right where they are. We stress the fact that a healthy mind helps in the development of a healthy body. And when people are truly educated about the benefits of living a healthy lifestyle without having to depend solely on restrictive diets or fancy fitness programs, they become inspired to take charge of their lives.
This is a seed. This is the beginning of our fitness outside interactive learning facility. Not just the park, outside interactive, and this is all symbolism, interactive learning facility. And this here, what I'm putting together is just one stage of the mental piece and the symbolism involved in this being the beginning stages of the park.
We believe in connecting with people through life's most basic function, which is movement. We believe that health is wealth and movement is medicine. Therefore, we leveraged this idea to promote exercise as a metaphor for life, as a tool to improve health and social vibrancy among children, youth, and families who have limited access to healthy food options, a gym, or a park. The benefits of physical activity include weight control, reduced risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, depression, and a host of other diseases. Statistics show that a large number of America's population does not meet the daily federal physical activity recommendations for physical, muscle strengthening, and aerobic exercise.
This area here has been blighted for about 6 or 7 years. Some houses fell down some years ago, and it remained that way for a few months, and we got the city to come out and clean it up. Now, this particular area right here, it sits within a nice distance of what the city calls their Capital City Sports Complex, and also within a half a mile of Martin Luther King Jr. Park. But the residents in this area, who have about a good 200 children that live around here, they don't have an immediate play space. Our goal is to bring a park right here so they can play, but also us who are into the world of mind, body activism, and fitness, and fundamental movement, functional movement, we want to have something in the public's eye so they can take advantage of becoming more physically active and taking charge of their health.
First of all, this particular area is heavily populated by parents with infants, young children, and teenagers who can use an immediate play area close to their homes. Some of the children who use the new Capital City Sports Complex on Calhoun Street have to cross a busy street and sometimes dangerous thoroughfare. This complex, however, has a pool which is operated by the YMCA during the summer. Although hundreds of children from the North Ward community can enjoy refreshing outing with family and friends, the play area at this complex is not geared towards children of all ages or those that may have any disabilities.
I think it's something that is very integral for the community. We need more unity, and I feel like this is like a planting ground. It's like a seed where they'll be able to germinate and grow, and then the people will be able to come together.
Go back some, brother. Like stretch it. There you go. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
We know that people do care about their individual health. However, statistics show that many people are not as proactive in regards to any immediate or personal health issues. Over the years, the U.S. Surgeon General released a report on physical activity and wellness. It clearly stated that poor nutrition and lack of regular activity causes obesity and contribute to increasing one's chances of dying prematurely from preventable diseases such as heart disease, cancer, and diabetes.
What we not going to say? You can't do it. Right. Don't say we can't, okay? Don't say we can't do it. Everybody can do it. So whatever you can take from exercise, you should be able to apply it to what you're doing on a regular basis. Squatting, grabbing things, reaching for things, all of those are exercise. The main objective is to get people to become more physically active. They don't necessarily have to join a gym. They don't necessarily have to think that they have to get into some big fitness regimen. The whole thing is to just be more physically active, be more intentional about your health, be more intentional about your movement. So outside interactive learning with the park that we're trying to bring here, or striving to bring here, or going to bring here, people will have an interactive approach to their health. They'll see signs that say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. They'll see something that says on the pull-up bar might have the word character on it. So when you're pulling up the bar, you're pulling up your character. When you are doing a push-up in our fitness area, you'll see the word ability on the ground. You're pushing up your level of ability, your level of responsibility. Everybody at each station has to be doing something, okay? Nobody can stop. We're going to try to do at least 3 rounds of this, okay? What ends your round is when you get to the pull-up bar and those 2 dip bars on the side. That's called the rack. Those 2 things on each side, okay? So at each time, somebody will be here doing something, somebody will be here doing something, at the next cone, at the medicine ball, at the next cone, at the next cone, and then at the pull-up bar. Nice, nice. Look at right mirror. Nice. Got the push-ups in. Nice. Make sure your feet stay flat when you're doing a dip, when you're doing the squats. According to the 2010 U.S. Surgeon General's Vision for a Healthy and Fit Nation, the social, cultural, physical, and economic foundations of a community are important factors in its ability to support a healthy lifestyle for its citizens. It also states that government and private organizations should pool their resources to increase access to healthy foods, ensure that all neighborhoods, especially in low-income areas, have full service and safe options for physical activities such as walking and bike paths, sidewalks, and parks. Along with promoting health is wealth and movement is medicine as our universal theme for exercise and fitness awareness, we are also striving to address, confront, deal with, and hopefully reverse the epidemic of obesity in the community. Our idea is to create and build fitness parks in each of the city's 4 wards and then promote these parks as outside interactive learning facilities, places where people, both young and old, can see, hear, taste, touch, and embody the value of a healthy lifestyle through basic, simple, holistic exercise, fitness, and physical activity. And you just grab this ball like this, you can stick it out like this, or you can hold it close to you and just do some squats. Okay? 10. Okay? Or at least 7. Okay? At least
Good afternoon. That was Brother BJ letting you know about some events that's coming up. It is my pleasure to have 2 brothers here. As you saw from the roll-in, they're going to talk about a thing that they're very active in doing in Jersey. Is that Trenton?
Trenton, New Jersey, and New York City.
And New York City.
New York City.
I have Brother Divine Allah here, and I have Brother Doc G. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And they're going to talk about this incredible program they started. It's called MindBodyActivism. It's Divine. If Divine has been here before, so if you've ever seen Divine here, you know that he doesn't do nothing unless it has some activism in it. And they're going to talk about the things that they are involved in and how we can assist them in the things they're doing and even incorporate them into a lot of the things we're trying to do. With that, my brother, how you doing?
Doing great. It's a blessing to be here.
Yes.
And to talk to you and to your audience. So we have a very wide history, a very noble history, and we're happy to add on.
I have a great audience, and I know some tremendous people, so if I have any history, it's that I just know how to find people that know what they're doing. MindBodyActivism. Let us know how y'all started doing that, how y'all got the idea, how you brought everybody in. Give us some history on this thing you're doing.
Well, this is my inspiration, this brother right here. I'm Trenton, New Jersey. New Jersey, before you get to the part of tri-state, is Trenton, Philadelphia, and then you come into New York City. This is one of my real life superheroes sitting right here. Brother Doc G, along with Brother Giant. Growing is a noble thing. Those brothers who we used to see only on video. The same way we only saw Malcolm and Huey, those only on video.
Right.
But these brothers we got to see in real life, doing what they do in the parks, in the communities of New York, all the boroughs of New York, and it inspired us down in Trenton, New Jersey and other parts of Jersey to go to these parks and start gathering up some of our young brothers and sisters saying, yo man, instead of just playing, running around in the park or doing some other things in the park, let's utilize those pull-up bars, not the monkey bars. Let's utilize that humble gym, not the jungle gym, and let's begin to pull up and push up our character and our attitude and our personalities in our community. There you have the beginnings of Mind, Body. But the activism, my particular background as a Black Panther member, youth minister, and things of that nature, I said, man, we got to take this and create another type of movement on the ground so our people can be actively involved in taking charge of their health. Basically, that's it. We got to take charge of our health.
Just like the original Black Panthers, the community activism has not really been publicized in accordance with the amount of work that you brothers do in the community and have always done. Like I say, I've known you for a while.
Yes.
And you have always been in the community, you know, really, really keying in on young people, on our elders, on living conditions, on health conditions. Brother Doc G, how did you come to get not just the incomparable Divine Allah to work with you on this thing, but a lot of people are involved in this thing, and y'all are working and hustling, and I see the kids out there, and they're getting strong and fit. How did this come about?
That's a great question. And basically what happened in New York City is he spoke about a brother named Hassan Yassin, better known as Giant. So I want to say peace and blessings to the Yassin family. Peace be upon them. May Allah continue to bless them. I met Giant almost 13 years ago. And I met him, and it's funny because it just shows the family connection. I have an aunt named Frances Lucas. And Frances Lucas, she was part of, or she was the leader of the Martin Luther King Jr. Foundation in Harlem. And just to tie the history in even deeper, Aunt Frances was the college roommate of Coretta Scott King.
Wow.
So she's credited with actually introducing Coretta to Martin.
Wow.
So, long story short, she was doing a big event in Harlem at Marcus Garvey Park. Giant and his group, the bartenders, were performing there. When I saw what they were doing.
Now, don't gloss over that, because it ain't what y'all are thinking. What is the bartenders?
Great question. The bartenders is a play on words. We wanted to meet people where they are through the slang, called the slang language. And so we talk about bartenders, we talk about pulling up on the pull-up bar, serving healthy drinks, as opposed to alcoholic beverages. So we say that Bud doesn't make you wiser. If you drink St. Ives, you get crooked eyes. But the one thing that you can do is drink from the fountain of youth. So that fountain of youth being the pull-up bar. So when I saw Giant and his team doing what they were doing in the park that day, I said, I can name everything that you're doing, what muscles is working and why it's working. And he was like, are you serious? I'm like, 100%. He said, well, what was that brother doing? And I told him, spit it out. What was that sister doing? Spit it out. And next question was, you want a job? And that was 15 years ago. So we've been rocking ever since. Now I'm actually on the board of bartenders. But through doing bartenders, I've had an opportunity to travel the world. I've been to Africa, I've been to Japan, I've been to Yugoslavia, I've been to Soviet Union or Russia, teaching this science of natural movements. And we've also been very active in actually going into the prison system, into Rikers Island, going into community centers, going into houses of worship, as well as going to different parks, and again, galvanizing people around the concept that it's your responsibility to take your health seriously.
That's right.
So that gives us the perfect transition to what we're doing now, which is something called Hip Hop is Green. And Hip Hop is Green, our goal with that is to introduce more inner city youth to the concepts of living a plant-based lifestyle. And what do I mean by that? So a lot of people get scared when you hear that word vegetarian or vegan.
Yeah.
So when we say plant-based, we want you to be more aware that it's something I got from a brother named Eric Adams, who's the Brooklyn Borough president.
Oh, yeah.
And Eric Adams said that a lot of people don't realize that it's not your DNA, it's your dinner. It's not your lineage, it's your lunch.
Yeah.
It's not your birthplace, it's your breakfast. So with that being said, and even Elijah Muhammad talked about people digging their graves with their spoons.
Right.
Yeah.
So we want to look at it through the lens of hip hop and introduce people to the healthy lifestyle that you can have just by taking control of your nutrition. And that's what Brother Devon and I are doing now. And it's all about connecting the dots with like-minded people such as yourselves,
Right.
Like-minded business owners, people who have urban gardens, people who do plant-based pop-ups, and just again making this hedge around our youth, because like I was told a long time ago, it takes a village to raise a child.
That's right.
So now, with the advent of the internet and social media, we know that we have a global village.
Right.
And we want to use this global village to leverage our relationships to bring about positivity and longevity to our families, our young ones, as well as our elders.
Right. Now you mentioned Eric Adams, and even a lot of those people who know that he's the borough president of Brooklyn are not aware that he, not too long ago, had a life challenge.
Yes.
And he had to really, really alter his lifestyle, the way he ate, the way he, what he ate, because he's always been in good physical condition. That's something a lot of people don't understand, is that it is a holistic thing, that you can actually run around the park, but be full of poison, and it could affect your life.
That's right.
I think what you're saying, I'll let Divine add on, but I think what you're saying is very, very key. And that's one thing I love about Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, is that once he made the change in his life, he's now incorporating that into everything he does from his position of power. So we're actually doing a big event with Eric Adams March the 9th, which is the same day that Biggie Smalls transitioned. We're doing something called a Ready to Live initiative. Because you know Biggie had a name of the album called Ready to Die.
Right.
So we want to flip that, and we call it a Ready to Live initiative, and our goal is to bring out 150 youth and their families and introduce them to a plant-based lifestyle. So I think that Eric Adams is on the cutting edge of health and wellness, and just the research is there. Diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, hypertension, rheumatism, obesity. These things can be cured and reversed and eliminated through proper diet, through proper mindset, through proper due diligence and vigilance. He even has his mother on the program. And she's reversed her diabetes as well. Wow. So I challenge any other borough president, the Manhattan borough president, the Harlem borough president, the Queens borough president. I challenge them all to follow the lead of Eric Adams.
Right.
And get on board with this healthy challenge.
Right.
Of taking our youth and taking our elders by the hand and saying, you can reverse the situation that you're in.
All right.
If you feel inclined to do so.
And I'm gonna get to Divine in one second.
Come on,
but
brother,
there's
take it easy.
one more thing that you said that I want to touch on. When you first got the job with Brother Giant, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, you were in fit condition. But you also mentioned the fact that you could name every muscle that was being exercised, that was being challenged through the physical program that they had going on. So that incorporates the knowledge. That's not simply like, pick it up, lift it up, put it down. You showed that you had a lot of knowledge about what you were doing. That's study. That's the body, the mind, body. And you talked about the activism. Now, the activism has not simply taken you from a place where you're showing people how to exercise, but you mentioned that you have gone into Rikers Island.
Yes, sir.
A place that a lot of people refer to as Torture Island these days. When you go into these places, specifically where there are young black males who need direction in all three phases, the mind, the body, and knowledge of self, the activism thing. Share with us some of the challenges or some of the surprises, serendipitous surprises that you encountered going in.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's good.
I'm like Malcolm. I looked at the dictionary from time to time.
Hey, that's great. One thing that we've discovered in our journey is that we had a program that we call Thugs. And that's an acronym. And it simply means talented humans under great stress.
Wow.
And we realized that once we engage these young men where they are, and we let them know that we come from similar backgrounds,
Right.
they opened up like a beautiful flower.
Right.
And it was there that we were able to make connections that transcended age, transcended boroughs, and we were really able to, for lack of better words, touch the hearts and the souls and the minds of these young brothers. And it was from there, you asked, how did I start to study the body? When I was 5 years old, my mother passed away from cancer. So that gave me an impetus at a young age to want to find out how can we extend our life journey. Also back in the days, we had something called the library. That now kids got Google, so the library don't really,
Right.
it's not really, you
Right.
know, it's not really on top of people's minds, but the library for me was a place of refuge. That was my tabernacle.
Right.
So I would go there and we spoke about Malcolm, reading the dictionary. I would read the dictionary. I would read books on kinesiology, biomechanics, anatomy. And I would make this a part of my daily routine, so much the fact what people would call me Encyclopedia Brown. And it was that ability to use that knowledge or information in a practical, pragmatic way that shielded me from quote unquote the street life. When I was coming up, we had brothers, we spoke with this off camera, it was brothers who would actually say, oh, listen man, you a smart one, you don't have to do all the stuff you're doing over here.
Right.
So brothers would actually take me under their wing and say, listen, go over there, you keep reading those books, you're gonna do something. And it wasn't until I met Giant, and I had another brother by the name of, his name is Shabar, who actually told me, you have a gift with your ability to be able to take an information and then decipher it in a way that's very simple that people can understand.
Right.
And
that's a gift.
these brothers recognized that in me at an early point, where my other friends were saying, why you always reading these books? Like, what's really good with you? Don't you want to get this money? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was me, and I challenge all young people to find other people around in their circle who actually fan their flame for intelligence, who actually embrace their ability to be smart, who actually embrace their ability to kind of dodge those pitfalls. And I think that's a perfect segue to meeting a brother like Devon, because in my mind's eye, he's a like spirit, he's a kindred spirit. So when we actually met through the bartending experience, it was like meeting a brother who I hadn't seen in a long time, and we just clicked perfectly.
Right.
And it's funny because losing your mother at that age, I lost my father at a young age to cancer. That started with diabetes, then to the colon, then to the prostate.
Wow.
Within the age I'm at now, he was on his deathbed, on his way out of here, at a very young age. And at that young age, I believe I was 14, watching him go through that. By the time I was 16, 15 and a half, he was out of here. And I said to myself, how can I learn about this body? How can I learn to at least begin to come home and go through the arguments with my relatives when we go have these family gatherings? My dad is gone. Can we keep you here, Uncle John? Can we keep you here, Uncle Alex? The way we do that is by changing our health or taking charge of our health, changing our habits as families. You know, we know our culture when it comes to how we eat, how we gather, we think is great to sit down and eat everything, and put all the stuff on it.
And we don't have, a lot of times we don't have access to the best parts of the bad food.
But now we do. And that's our thing, now we do. Now we have the access to take charge and to feed our children better. We have to want it at the end of the day. And on the flip side of that, while fueling our bodies, we have to be able to use that fuel to move properly. I rarely saw my dad exercise. In my mind, he was healthy. I rarely saw some of our leaders exercise that we talk about on video or whatever. But if we fuse the two and look at something like hip hop or the music that connects everybody, we say, how can we use that to get our young people to say, you know what? I want to be like that. Not only do I want to be like that with the cars and the jewelry, I want to be healthy like he's talking about.
Right.
I want to be healthy like she's talking about.
Right.
I don't want to drink. I don't want to pop bottles or pop the pills. I want to drink green. You know, I want to do something healthy with my life. So that's where all this comes about at, man. It's a full circle. And we trying to make it live and direct and beautiful and profound for everyone, man, especially our babies in these inner cities.
And like, I have a son that's 13 years old. Like my son said, we want to make it lit.
Lit, that's
We'll
right.
make it litty. We'll make it litty to be healthy.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Lit and fit.
Yeah, lit and fit. So that's part of when we talk about hip hop is green. And if you think about it, even back in the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, you had somebody like KRS-One saying, I'm a vegetarian, no meat or ham. It's about time one of y'all hear it. Hear it firsthand from an intelligent brown man. So he was laying down progressive thoughts even in the late 80s. He had a song called Beef where he was talking about the processes that meat goes through when it's being made. And now we take a bridge or go through the little portal now. We step into 2017, 2018, and you have movies like What the Health, Forks Over Knives, and all these different documentaries that are now showing what KRS-One was saying, what a Dr. Sebi was saying, what a Dr. Muhammad was saying, what Elijah Muhammad was saying.
Queen of Fua, there's so many of them, man.
So we've had people who've been torchbearers of truth, and now we're at the age to where we can take that torch and say, listen, all these different candles come together and they make this great, beautiful flame. And that flame can do the two things. You can either burn from that flame or you can use that flame to nourish. So we want to use that flame to be a beacon of light and to nourish.
One of the things you mentioned was, I believe it was you, but I think you interjected, is that my generation, and I grew up in the 60s, but my generation, there was almost a generational schism, split in the ideology of generations. And you mentioned that in my generation, you seldom saw any of us exercise. There was a definite reason for that. Not so much based on fact, but based on perception. And the perception was that people who were muscle bound were those people who were not that intellectually proficient, you know.
That's a great point.
And that you concentrated on things like literature and things of the mind. Then we get to another generation that seemed to be more in line with pushing away the past and concentrating on material things and self-awareness. But you brothers come with a holistic point of view that is actually where we've always needed to be. Mind, body, and spirit. You can take care of your mind and still be attentive to your body and still have a holistic approach to your community.
That's right.
And to your spiritual self. That is something that we have been lacking, the mind thing of the past and the artistic thing of the past with the conscious thing of the present in the body and in taking care of home and making sure that your children are provided for, and concentrating on, I'm not talking about just like buying shiny stuff, but you got to feed them children and stuff like that.
It was deep you said that because we, off camera, Divine and I were talking, and a lot of people don't realize how profound entertainment is. And I had a great aunt who told me at one time. She said when I was coming up, we were all activists until Superfly came out. And if you notice the movie Superfly, he was teetering that line saying that I'm not with the activism. I'm about my money.
Right.
And then Devon brought up the point about in the Mac, where it was tell me about that scene that you told me about.
It was a scene where the Max character, played by Max Julian, was arguing in a table conversation with his brother, who was trying to say, man, you know, these pimps, y'all pushing drugs, y'all destroying the community. And both of them made profound points about what we can do with the money that's coming from it. But the fact that how that grew out of the real Black Panther Party, the original Black Panthers, approaching the set director saying, whatever's going to come out of this movie, from a monetary perspective, has to go into our breakfast program, our community programs. But it just showed that fine line between let's get it, let's get lit, let's be live, as opposed to let's do something that's holistic, something that's really great for our communities. It still exists then, and it exists now. And how can we scribble that line out and move together?
So that's what makes Hip Hop is Green so profound, because now we've been blessed. My father used to always talk about standing on the shoulders of giants.
That's right.
So now we've been blessed with the experience of Elijah Muhammad, of a Noble Drew Ali, of a Khalid Muhammad, of a Malcolm X, and all these other great leaders who came, and we the Marcus Garveys, the Clarence X's, all these great people who came and provided a certain backdrop, and we can see, okay, this is where it was good, this is where it kind of went to the left, and even the brother was talking about, David X was talking with us behind the scenes. He was talking about how when the Black Spade started off, it was really about protecting your community, protecting your family. That morphed into the Zulu Nation. The Zulu Nation morphed into this body of hip hop. So these things have always been intertwined
somewhere.
So now it's about pulling those strings together and presenting this, as you said, this holistic package to where people can understand that it's cool to take care of yourself. It's cool to take care of your family. It's cool to be healthy. It's cool to have longevity. And because it's in that longevity where we can pass down this information. One of my favorite quotes that I heard Tupac say was that Tupac said that he might not have been as wild as he was if he had a strong male figure. Very, very profound. He said the people who he looked up to were already incarcerated, or they were getting money via the streets, which goes back to, again, what happened when Superfly and the Mac came out. That transformed the mentality of a lot of militant-minded brothers to say, well, hey, I can sell a little dope, I can sniff a little coke, I can do this, and I can still be, you know what I mean? Because that's what's cool right now. So now we know that we can reverse that. Even right now, when I was telling my little cousin, they're legalizing marijuana. And with the stuff that they're putting on this new marijuana right now, I would advise everyone who even likes to partake to think twice.
That's right.
Simply because you're walking a very fine line of what you're putting into your body, and even more so from a very pragmatic state of mind, your lungs are some of the key things that keep you going.
That's right.
So, but that's the key again, not to get overly philosophical or overly deep, but just in a very practical, pragmatic way.
No, I think that one of the biggest mistakes that we make, we as a people, is that people my age, we either romanticize the past or vilify the present. And the truth is somewhere in the middle of that. And the point of standing on the shoulders of your ancestors is not so much to turn them into monuments. It's so that you can see the whole field.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's why when you're a kid and your father picks you up at a baseball game, he puts you on his shoulders so that you can see the field.
Perfect example.
Beautiful.
And I think that is what you brothers are actually bringing to the table. a whole see the field atmosphere that we have been lacking and surely need.
Mainly so we don't get tunnel vision with it, man.
Right.
I mean, it's out here for us. The hip hop culture
Right.
is one of the strongest. It has a strong hold
Right.
on our young people,
Right.
even some older folks. It has a
Right.
strong hold.
Right.
Look at the years that have gone by.
Right.
We've even lost some of our giants in hip hop
Right.
to health issues.
That's right.
Right.
Tribe
right.
Called Quest, Heavy D.
Yeah,
Guru
young people
from
are getting
Gang
heart
Starr.
attacks. Like,
Young
I mean,
people
it's
now,
crazy.
recently, dying from health issues.
Right.
So how can we redirect some of what we know is going on and at least bring some holistic ideas to it, man?
Right.
We have modern day John. We don't. Our ancestors. We have modern. Queen Afua is still here.
Right.
Dr.
right,
Laila Africa
right,
is still here.
Right.
Many others are still here, and all we're doing is saying, you know what? Let's take what they've given us on video, on DVD, or just on paper through book form, and let's make it active. Let's put some stamps on the ground. Let's put some stamps out here at these parks. Let's put some stamps on T-shirts. Let's make it hashtag get lit and get fit. Let's get hip hop as green, just as live as we know it couldn't have been prior to YouTube and Instagram.
Right,
We can do that now. We
right.
have the access to do that.
Right.
That's something that people talk about. My wife, she's going for her doctorate in acupuncture.
Excellent.
And something that we talk about a lot at home is when you have a cell phone, a quote unquote a smartphone, you literally have at your disposal a distribution network.
Right.
A global distribution network.
Right.
So I challenge all of your viewers in a healthy way to think about how you can utilize your smartphone in a smart, intelligent way, as opposed to just looking on Instagram or looking on WorldStar or doing something, just playing a game. Let's master or conquer this so-called game of economics. And that's what makes the game. It ties us right back around to hip hop is green. We want to connect with those people who have businesses who are serving plant-based foods. We want to connect with those educators who. It's even a school. It's a situation in the school system where they have Coalition for Healthy Foods, where schools can change their menus.
Right.
From serving certain foods that we know actually cause the children to have lower test scores.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Because these foods are sugary based. These foods are, for lack of better words, these dead foods, when they're put into an electric living body, they short circuit the body. So we know now that when you start to get children to move, for instance, I have a son, and this is a segue. My son, he made a 99 on the gifted and talented test. So that put him up to go to a school called Nest. And Nest is one of the top schools in New York City. Not only do they have a gym program, they also have a movement program. They also have a language program. They have a food and nutrition program. That's in the best schools. Now, I've been in some schools in New York City where they don't even have a gym teacher, let alone a gym.
Gym, that's right.
Right.
They go to gym twice a week.
Right.
These children are forced to sit down and so-called study when the children at the top schools are allowed to move.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have gardening.
And they have
a lot of
gardening.
those
Exactly.
And they have a holistic approach. That's one of the things that we have to understand is that basically, especially if you are black male, but they don't even have any support systems for the educated black female anymore. They used to have a place for them. They never really had a place for black men. After the Emancipation Proclamation, anyway. But we are confronted with a system that is heavily skewed against our development, and we're going against people who have the privilege of white skin, the economic stability, and parents who have put everything in their development before they were even conceived. You know, before they were, before we go, okay, we haven't made a baby yet. You're not pregnant in any way, but we need to start saving for college so that, you know, when his kids go, and we gotta figure out what schools he's gonna go to. You know, you're not even pregnant yet. You know, we're not even married yet. You know, we're talking about this stuff. You know, because now we're deciding to take that step. This is what you have to go against in a world that has never really been fond of you.
Right.
And it is very, very important that we take a holistic approach to our development. That we stop thinking more money, more problems, and start thinking more money, more solutions.
That's right. That's
or
right.
more health and more wealth.
Right. Right.
I like how Divine said that.
More health and more wealth.
Health and more wealth, because we realize that once you have health at the forefront, then it gives you the ability to start to think about how can I enterprise with my talents.
Right.
I think so many times we're playing catch up because we've bought hook, line, and sinker the messages that entertainment has sold us.
Right.
See, entertainment and so-called these love songs teach us that get the girl, do the do with her, but they don't tell you after you do the do, 9 months later, you're gonna have to be cleaned up to do. You see, you see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So now that we understand these things, we can take a step back, and in taking that step back, it gives us the ability, if we're wise, to say, okay, you know what? I wanna move smarter. I wanna move better. And again, that's what we're striving to do with Hip Hop is Green.
Right.
We want to tell our youth that, again, we know that you're a thug. We know that you're a talented human under great stress.
Right.
Now let's use that stress. We talk about stress. Part of stress is necessary when you exercise. You put the muscle under stress so it can rebuild itself and grow.
That's right.
So stress used in a good way can be productive.
Teach.
It's when that stress is counterproductive that it breaks you down.
Right.
So we want to teach our young people that we know that you're a talented human that's under great stress. Now let's use that stress to grow that rose through the concrete. And I gotta tell you this story. I was in Rikers Island and I met a brother. I gotta say his name. I met a brother, Bobby Smurda, who at one time was one of the biggest hip hop artists of all time.
BK.
Hip hop artist, And at that time, and he told me this brother when I was speaking to Bobby Smurda, this brother was nothing like the images that were put on him in popular culture. I mean, this brother was sharp, he was a reader, he was a listener, and he was someone who embraced us when we came in there to teach because he saw that we were genuine.
Right.
Whereas the media narrative on Bobby Smurda was that he's just a wild
young black man.
Black man in the streets. And when I spoke to some of his co-defendants who were in Rikers Island with him, they said that the reason why we followed Bobby was because coming up, his mother gave him a protective environment. He was the smart one amongst us. So it was just funny how the so-called smart one amongst them was made to seem the most wild to the general public. And I was like, wow, that's deep. And
not to cut you off, but portraying this image in the context of American rap, because rap is completely different globally. In a lot of countries, rap is a political vehicle. It's what rap was designed to be initially. But in the United States, rap has become the best way to monetize your talent in America in the field of rap, especially if you're black, but now even white boys, as a matter of fact, blacks are kind of out of rap and white boys have taken over, is to portray this image of
crazy
monster.
fool.
Right. You know.
I'll let Devon address that first, not tell the story.
Well, in essence, which is why hip hop is green is important. Connect those dots of what the original tenets of hip hop were set out to do. You had the MC, you had the griot, you had the DJ, that drum playing. It's in us. You also had the elements of knowledge yourself. You also had the elements of graffiti, the art,
Right.
the
Right.
wall art.
Right.
And now here we are, which leads us to why hip hop is green was created, to add health and wellness as a key component. You can have knowledge yourself.
Right.
You can be an MC, a great speaker, great DJ. You can do all those, great dancer, b-boy and all of that. But it has to culminate somewhere in us seeing how shining you are when you're on that stage. Us seeing you throwing up, yo, everybody go out there and get a green smoothie during the break. Go out there and preach and promote health and wellness. Shine amongst your peers, as opposed to when you leave the club or you leave the show, everybody's falling around and nobody can talk anymore and there's fighting and craziness. It all connects, man. The dots are there. We just have to utilize what's been given to us and not be afraid to look to those like yourself and not to look to those like the Bobby Schmurders, the ones we know on the inside, not just the imagery.
Right.
Don't be afraid to connect with these young people, man. These young people are talented.
Yeah, I know.
Talented times a gazillion.
I know, there are children. How can they not be talented?
They just need the spaces to create and move what they have inside of them.
How can something that comes from me not be talented? It's like, you don't even have to come from me. If you hang out with me, you're going to pick up some stuff. Right.
We are great people.
Right. That is the point. That is the point.
And we can't overlook health. And we can't overlook exercising. We cannot overlook it. We overlook it too much. Many of our leaders, we only look to them for nice, fine words, which is good. But when are we going to say, your health is just as important? Can my leader be healthy when he's up there? Can my leader promote some type of holistic attitude about himself when he's up there in regards to how he's eating, how he's living his lifestyle, exercising and eating properly, man. It's all, like we said, it's all there. We can... You be talking to the choir, man, but it's all there.
Intergenerational conflicts were all there during that same generation.
Right.
I mean, it was pork chop, no pork chop. It was it was music is smoky as opposed to what the hell is the last poet? I mean, all of these conflicts was there when it was one generation confronting these issues. But we only got like about 4 minutes left. I want to make sure you tell us who shot the video, who, because we opened up with MindBodyActivism video.
Right.
How we can get in touch with you, brothers, how we can assist you. And if we had a couple of minutes, you can tell us how you ended up with at Bartenders. But educate us right this moment.
All right, real quick, Mind Body Activism. You can reach us at 609-338-2236.
You can look right in that camera right there.
Again, 609-338-2236. Instagram at NJ_MindBodyActivist. Bartenders, the definition is all over the place.
But how did
you don't have to go far.
How did you end up there?
By being active.
Because I saw you, you were real active, brother.
Man.
I saw that video. I mean, you was pulling up and biking at the same time. I'm like, look at this brother.
It's simply by being active and connecting the dots where I know they need to be connected at. And not hiding and not having tunnel vision as a young man. Because sometimes we do get sidetracked. We think it's only one element of the struggle. But when so many of our generation is getting up out of here by street violence and or health issues, some of us got to take charge. Some of us got to buckle down and settle in and say, listen, let's get our people more actively involved in taking charge of their health. And that's where that connection comes at. It's only right We are children of hip hop.
So with that being said, I got to remind the people about Hip Hop is Green.
Right.
Find us at NYC Hip Hop is Green on Instagram. Look for hiphopisgreen.com to look up the website. I can't forget the brother Keith Tucker, who is the founder of Hip Hop is Green out of Seattle. He's a visionary. He's been doing this for the last 9 years, doing Hip Hop is Green dinners. On March the 9th, we're doing an event at Brooklyn Borough Hall with Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. And our goal is to bring in 150 youth and their families and introduce them to plant-based lifestyles under the guise of, March 9th is the same day Biggie Smalls transitioned. One of his names, a popular album was called Ready to Die. So we're doing a Ready to Live initiative.
Ready to live.
We want to get these youth in the mindset that they can control their futures. So again, hiphopisgreen.com, NYC Hip Hop is Green on Instagram. We thank you. We thank your listeners, your family for having us.
Right.
And we look forward to being back.
Yeah.
No, you are always
ongoing.
welcome back. This is your house. And now I want to congratulate you and thank you.
Thank you for
you brothers are sincere. You brothers are hardworking, and you go right into the eye of the storm. When you talk about doing this in places like Trenton and Rikers Island, ain't no softness, in your game. Yeah. So I really, really appreciate the job you brothers are doing, and I hope that our audience can learn from you, and whoever can help you or learn from you, do just that.
We're always looking for more people to come and join the movement.
Right.
Our base is in Harlem on 123rd and Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. It's a place called Imagination Raw Space, and we do meetings there once a month. So please, again, go check us out on the website. Go on Instagram, nychiphopisgreen.com. DM us, like us, join. I don't want to say follow.
Right.
Join us.
Excellent.
And let's work. Let's change the narrative. Let's create the new narrative.
That's
Excellent. And for you old heads, that's Raw Space on 123rd Street and 7th Avenue. Check out these brothers here. They are exactly what we say we've been looking for. So we'll find out if you are who you say you are. Again, I want to thank you. We just about to get out of here. We got 30 seconds. Brother Divine Allah, Brother Doc G, I would like to thank you both. And I guess peace. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
All right, gentlemen.
Health is wealth, movement is medicine.
All right. So tell me about, because you had like all 3 generations out there. I mean, I saw a sister out there